Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Emma and I am the mom of an amazing 15-month-old little girl named Sage who has trisomy 18. I make videos about advocacy and education on trisomy 18, as well as my experience as a special needs mom and Sage's life. So if that's stuff that you're interested in, then definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how you can best support someone, whether it's a friend or a loved one that is going through a trisomy 18 pregnancy or a new trisomy 18 diagnosis for their child. Of course, you know your loved one better than I do, so don't be afraid to adapt these to the person that you love in the way that's going to best meet their needs and support them. And I will have links to things that I reference down in the description box below. And I think that's it. So let's just jump in. So the first and probably most important thing that you can do is pray for your loved one and pray for their baby. Pray for life, pray for health, and pray for positive outcome for their situation. And the other thing that kind of goes with that is never speak death over their baby. Your loved ones are going to hear a lot of statistics on life expectancy and milestones that they will and won't achieve, and things like that. And the reality is that statistics are rapidly changing as the climate within the trisomy community changes, and as the medical community is more open to offering intervention for either extending life or saving life. Life expectancy and things that go into quality of life and milestones that are achieved, those things are rapidly changing. And at the end of the day, this baby will write their own story. The only person that knows what milestones that baby will achieve and how many days that baby will have here on this earth is God. So don't speak death, don't speak limitation over these babies. Don't put them in a box. Let them write their own story. Prop them up and give them the support they need to write their own story. The second thing is to let the parents or the mom or whoever is appropriate in this situation decide what they want and what they're comfortable with for their emotional processes in regards to baby showers and gifting and making a nursery and all that stuff. Don't force that on them. I know for me personally, I did not want a baby shower. It was incredibly emotional to think about being showered with all these gifts that I may never get a chance to use for my baby. And so don't force that onto somebody. Don't say, well, are you sure? Don't you think you want blah, blah, blah? Just let them make the decision that is going to serve their emotional needs the best. Items can always be bought after birth. Nurseries can always be decorated after birth if those things are needed. That's what we did in our situation. But if it's too difficult, if it's distressing for mom and dad to think about having a baby shower or making a nursery for baby before they're born, that's okay. Let them know that's okay and don't force those things on them. The third point that I want to make is speak realistically, but hopefully whenever it comes to things that may happen during this child's life. For example, for me, it was bothersome whenever people would say, oh, well, in a year, they'll be running around and, you won't get a chance to sit down. That was really bothersome, especially whenever people knew her diagnosis. The odds of Sage running around by a year old were very, very slim. So I felt like that was really hurtful whenever people would say things like that. So a better way that you might be able to say something similar is, oh, if she learns how to walk, then you're in trouble. Things like that, where you're not limiting what that child may or may not achieve, but you're putting kind of an if on it, and you're not putting a timeline on it, if that makes sense. Our children most likely will develop at a slower pace or reach milestones at a slow or different pace to their typical peers, and that's okay. They are okay just the way that they are. And there may be things that they achieve on a normal timeline, and there may be things that they never achieve, and both of those things are okay. It doesn't change the value of that child, but the way that you talk about those milestones might be hard for some parents to hear, because while we love our kids and while we want them to achieve everything, the reality that they may not reach certain milestones, or that those milestones will not be on a typical timeline, is something that is really hard for parents to overcome, at least in a lot of cases. So we just want to make sure that you're being really, really sensitive about those things. Of course, this is one of those situations where you know your loved one best, and they may want you to say, oh, she's going to be walking and he's going to be talking and all of those things. And if that's the case, then definitely speak in the way that you know is going to serve them best emotionally. But for a lot of people, at least speaking for myself, I know that talking about things in concrete that they were going to happen was really hard for me to hear personally. The fourth thing is to help them find community. You are being a great support person for them. And if you're on this video, then obviously you want to encourage them, you want to support them, and all of those things. And that is amazing. I'm so proud of you for doing that, because they need that. But for a lot of people, the biggest comfort and the best support that they can have is from other people who have walked in their shoes, that know what they're going through, that can give them advice and encouragement from somebody who has been there. So there are some amazing Facebook groups, or groups in general, such as Support Org for Trisomy, and Rare Trisomy Parents, and lots of other different groups. I will link those two down below, because those were specifically, or have been specifically, helpful for me even now, over a year later. I still lean on those groups a lot. But then also, if they're not on Facebook or whatever, I really try to read all of my Instagram DMs, especially expectant parents or new parents or loved ones of parents. I really try to respond to people and support them and talk to them through the lens of somebody that's been there. So if nothing else, shoot me a message on Instagram. My handle's right here. I'll be linked down below. And I would love to talk with them or to talk with you directly. But getting them in touch with other people that have been there, that have walked their shoes, that have seen the best and the worst parts of this journey, that's going to be hugely impactful, kind of for their morale through this experience, because it can feel extremely isolating to experience a pregnancy like this. The last one, which I don't have any doubt that if you're watching this video that this is something that you're going to do, but my last one is just encourage them. Listen to their feelings, validate their feelings, and understand that when it comes to a life experience like this, whether it's pregnancy or new parenthood, a child with a life-limiting diagnosis, a diagnosis that means their life is going to look super different than you ever expected, there are so many complex emotions. There's amazing joy, there's really deep grief, there's grief even whenever your child's sitting in your hands, and that can be really hard to understand whenever you are not in that person's shoes. So just validate their emotions. Let them know that it's okay to feel a million different things at one time, and it's okay if your feelings are not politically correct. It's okay if you don't even know how you feel, because I've felt all of those things. So just encourage them, validate them, don't judge them, because like I said, our feelings are not always going to be politically correct, and our feelings are sometimes going to be confusing and not make sense, and just don't judge those feelings. Help them express their feelings, help them understand their feelings, or give them an opportunity to understand their feelings through expression, but definitely encourage them and speak hope into the situation at any opportunity that you get, without diminishing the grief and the sadness that they're feeling. So speak life into them. Let the parents drive the boat on decision making and what they're comfortable with. Speak realistically but hopefully about their milestones. Help them get connected with parents that may understand their situation, and just encourage them and be there for them and walk with them. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more videos like this. I will be continuing my Trisomy 18 101 series, so stay tuned for more of that, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.